Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another video. I'm Trip and today I'm doing some LSD. Not that kind of LSD. This kind. This is probably going to be the biggest upgrade I've done to this car since the actual case swap. Hopefully I should see the most benefits out of it. This is a OS Giken 1.5 way LSD for my wheel differential, thanks to PhD Racing. It's not the only thing I'm doing to it. I also have a new rear diff in this box. I haven't unwrapped yet. Why? So why would you need or want one of these? Well, normally not the best at explaining things, but I'll try. This is the factory torsion style LSD. Even though it is an LSD, it's not as advanced, not as sophisticated as the Giken one is, which is a clutch type. Which these are great for like daily driving and comfortable and street car use and stuff. But it can still act as an open diff at certain times. So if you're heavy going around a corner and one side's loaded and the other side isn't, one side's going to be open and not be putting the power down. But where the 1.5 way will continue to put power down. It doesn't matter if that one wheel is lifted or off the ground or whatever, it's still going to put power to the ground. So it gives you more traction when you need it the most. So I figured while I have the wheel differential opened up, I might as well upgrade the final drive in it. So I have a 2017 Plus 86/BOZ wheel differential in this mummy. Looks like a mummy, but it's not really a mummy. The differential's hiding. So let's open it up. Hey, it's free, and they really did not skip out on the packaging, so big shout out to the guy I bought this from off eBay. He packages it really well. It was in that box. This is a Y58, and what makes this guy different from that one is the 4.33 final drive. Well, the prior years came with a 4.1. So the benefit of this guy is I'll have more torque to the wheels at a lower RPM. With trade-off is I'll have a less of a top speed. So you kind of trade one for the other. But I'd rather have the acceleration. A lot of the track guys either go to this or like a 4.4. I probably should have done sooner. The other downside is a little bit less gas mileage, but we don't care about gas mileage. The gas mileage already sucks in this thing because E85. I believe K-Power also recommends this diff with this engine setup. They said they just complement each other a little bit better. But these two mods are good no matter what engine you have. If you have the stock FA in it, turbocharged. I did buy this pumpkin used off eBay. I probably could have found them cheaper if I would find them either locally or went to a record or Craigslist or whatever. Played the easy way and just ordered one offline. Probably cost me a little bit more. It's about $600. These are also more expensive than the Y38s, the one that's in here. They're a little bit more expensive. But the game plan is to open this guy up and remove the final drive, put it on the OS Giken LSD, put the LSD back in this guy. Then I'm going to remove the factory one, and I have it as a backup, spell, or whatever, just in case. But kind of little disclaimer, this type of job isn't for everybody. If you're kind of a novice mechanic or haven't done a lot of like internal work, engine building, transmissions, and that type of things, or things require tight tolerances and measuring things, this probably isn't for you. You can recommend taking it to a shop that does this sort of thing, but I like to do things the hard way and do it myself and save me some money. Got my Diff cover off. It is 14 mils. And yeah, make sure this guy is drained first, which it should be because there's 2 big gaping holes in it. I think what most people do next is take these bolts out while it's connected. So it has this little safety bracket on it. So you gotta bend these little tabs down, then knock these loose. I'm not going to take them out, I'm just going to break them loose. The idea is to loosen them while it's still in the carriage, so it's not moving around or you don't have to clamp it to the table. Okay, busting those loose can be a little awkward, but I had a screwdriver in the back here where the drive shaft hooks up, so it doesn't turn, because this will stop it. And I had to stand back here with the breaker bar to break each of them loose. Now they're broke loose, I left them in there. Next, I gotta take these 2 caps off, which is 17. These guys are also 17s. Okay, I got everything loose, got it back on the table. It's very important that these 2 caps, you know where they go. I have this one marked left, this one marked right. This is your drain plug, so that's how you know it's the bottom of the diff. Or you can take a picture, you can take a paint marker. I took a picture. I know this yellow is on the right, this dot is on the left. Now I can take these 2 caps off. Hey, the LSD is out. Not the easiest thing in the world, since you have to use a pry bar on jump around from both sides trying to find a nut to pry on. Just kind of do it slowly. It's a little bit at a time, back and forth. You know, eventually be able to pull out. And yeah, there is these races over the bearings and also the shims on both sides. So you see, I'm trying to keep things segregated. Things on the left over here, things on the right over here. Next, I got to zap all these guys off. I already broke them loose. So now we gotta take this guy off, which is the part we need. In order to get it started, I took the bolts that were from the diff cover, put in the holes, and just hammer it down, just like pushing this guy downwards. Hey, I got this ring off. Was pretty easy. To get it down the rest of the way, I use this punch to go through the hole. Just be careful not to mess the threads up, and just tap it around and it should fall right out pretty easy. Last things I want to take off. I'm going to attempt to take off the bearings because they look good still. They feel fine. But if I can't, it's not the end of the world. I'll just buy some new ones, which I don't have. Also, these guys, you can throw these away. You don't need them anymore. Hey, it's a new day. Went to Harbor Freight and picked up this guy. But I don't know if it's going to be big enough.
That's what she said!
Definitely needed a bigger size, but this is all they had. Of course, I had to go get coffee. Might be able to make it work. If you're doing this, I do recommend buying new bearings. I just forgot. And my dilemma is I would like to have this thing back together before Friday, actually before Thursday. It's Sunday right now. For Import Alliance, so I can test it, do a shakedown on a track I've been to before, so I can kind of see what the difference is. So I gotta try my best not to mess up the bearings pulling them out. Even though they look fine, they're all fine, but I still risk messing them up just trying to get them out. Because it is a press-on fit that you need special tools for. I fucked up. Well, it didn't work. I don't know if you can see or not, but this thing's not round anymore. See here, it's crushed heel, heel. Essentially, this isn't big enough to fully seat under it. If this was bigger and wider, it probably would have been okay. But yeah, this is just too short and it's essentially gouging on these corners. Probably should have took this to work, because I think we do have some bigger, better ones of these things. But well, I'm just gonna have to go order new bearings. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it here in time, because I haven't been able to find anything local. Yeah, see what I can do. Okay, while this guy's on hold, which I'm pretty much done with this thing anyway, I can still put the ring on the new LSD. It is a tight tolerance or tight fit down here, so you got to try to line your holes up. So the way I'm gonna do this is have this facing on the ground, this up, and I'll eyeball the holes, trying to get them as close as possible to lining up. Then I'll drop my bolts to get a thread on as many as I can and use the bolts to work them up. Okay, that one pretty easy. Most important thing is to make sure your holes are lined up before you start tapping it. Use like a rubber mallet or something. You don't want to damage anything. Some people will even put this guy like in the freezer overnight and like use some heat on the inner ring of this guy and just drop it in. That's also an option. But this was, I don't know, fairly easy. Hey, it's the next day, and look what I found. Found some bearings. Luckily I was able to find some locally, or semi-locally. I had to drive like 45 minutes to go get them. The one good thing about this car being a mutt, you have your choice between Toyota and Subaru dealerships. None of the Toyota had them, and they were wanting like $130 for one, even though they couldn't get them. Subaru was like $83 each, and one of the dealerships had them. They gave me one Toyota brand and one Subaru brand. This car is so confused of what it is. This is the part number. I do believe it is a different part number. I think it's like 51001 for the 2016 to 13 4.1 gear ratio diffs. This is for the 4.3. So let's press these guys. I know this is, you do need a press for this. It will make life a lot easier. Okay, something very important about pressing in bearings is you want to press on the inner race, not out here. You'll mess it up. So make sure you found something that's the exact same size as the inner one. Hey, I got this one pressed in. Now the hard part is it's easy getting it started because you can use something flat, kind of like this, to get it started, but it has to go lower than this part. See how it's kind of sunken in? So you got to find something that's wider than that, but not too wide. It's on the races, so it has to be the exact right diagonal, which I think this is a 2 1/4 piece of pipe I had laying around. Just happened to fit, so you might have to find something like that. Something I was considering if I couldn't find that. I know this is the right diagonal, but it has teeth, so I would have to grind down and shave down the teeth so I don't mess up the bearing. That is an option if you can't find anything. Something a lot of people do is use the old bearing. So you're going to have to get this bearing off so you can cut it off and use just the inner race portion as a tool to press it down. Or you can go buy a press set that has a crap ton of different sizes. Okay, I got this all cleaned out. Used some brake cleaner. Make sure I got all the gasket material off and clean. I think the game plan is I'm going to use the crate that this thing came in to put it down in with the opening facing up, and I'll just drop the LSD in there. Hey, the LSD is in. Be careful your fingers trying to put it in. It's not the easiest thing. There's not really much places to grab it. I essentially just grabbed it here. One-handed was the easiest way to grab it. And then after you get it in, then put your shims in. I did have to use a little piece of wood to hammer one of these guys in. Next, these guys. Remember, I marked them. This guy's going on the right. Little cast, faces outwards. Hey, the diff is all back together in one piece, ready to go in. But I still have to take the diff out of this one. I still have the factory diff and everything's still the pumpkin in it. So now I gotta drop it out so I can put this fresh built guy in, which I probably want to turn the car around for that. Be a little bit easier. Hey, it's the next day now that the diff is all built up and ready to go. Got the car turned around. I gotta drop up the old one. I'm not gonna go like step by step on how to do it, but I'll probably show you the highlights while it's out. I do plan on replacing the driver's side axle because it's seen better days. And I also have some new white line bushings for it. Let's get started. Hey, old Diff is out. It's really not too bad. I'll give you a quick, fast overview of things you need. The drive shaft has to be disconnected, which was 14 mil. These two big bolts to hold it to the bottom of the subframe, those are 19 mils. The three in the wheel to hold it to this brace, those are 17s. You do have to remove the exhaust. Axles have to be popped out of the diff. You do not have to remove it like I did. I only removed it because I'm replacing it. See, that one's still dangling in the hub. Now the new guy can go in. Hey, the diff is done. I took it for just a quick little test drive. It didn't go very far, just enough to make sure there's nothing weird going on, no weird noises, no weird vibrations. Everything seems pretty normal. I'm not going to do a little test drive footage in this video because not really much I can show you on the streets. But I do have a track event in 2 days. This Friday, I'll be at Nashville Super Speedway with Import Alliance, and I'll be able to test it there. It's probably not the easiest job in the world, but it's definitely doable, not for novices, because there's some special tools and knowledge that kind of involves in this. But if you've done like engine swaps, rebuild engines, transmissions, and more in-depth projects, then yeah, you can probably do this. Getting the actual diff back in there by yourself is a little challenging. I might have dropped it a few times. Just a little, tip, I guess. Well, that kind of helped me when this was balancing on the jack. I had a rat strap going through the drive shaft hole, wrapped around the subframe. That way I was able to kind of pull back on it to lift the front end, to keep it level, and also less likely to fall off. But if you want to see my final thoughts, review, and how the diff does, come back for the next video from Import Alliance. I've been there a few times with this car, so I kind of know what kind of times it was doing before. So it's a good benchmark. So hopefully I can shave some times off my BP. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Peace.